Konnichiwa, aloha, hello, turubim, como estas? Hola, what it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast, and yesterday evening was the first day of the NBA play-in for the 24-25 season, and man, we had some good games, but most specifically I want to focus on the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. So obviously the Warriors won last night, 121-116. It was a really good game. The Warriors had a lead for most of it, and then the Grizz came back because they fight, but they just couldn't close it out. And so unfortunately the Grizzlies have lost 10 straight to the Warriors, including the playoffs. And, you know, that's probably not the best matchup for them. They probably should look to avoid that matchup a little bit. But it was a good game. And everybody, for the most part, on both teams played fairly well. It was not a poorly played game. It was a good game. And what I noticed when I was watching is that the Grizzlies still have a chance. They've got to play the Mavericks. And that will give them an opportunity to potentially still get in. But what I noticed watching this game, I have to say the Warriors are intriguing me because they're doing, it's almost like a 1-2 punch with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, where it reminds me of like a Shaq and Kobe type thing. So what do I mean by a Shaq and Kobe type thing? Stephen Curry is going to use a lot of his energy. He's going to use a lot of his energy all the time because he's always running around like a wild chicken out there. And I say chicken because if you've ever tried to catch a chicken or a squirrel or any small, mammal. Actually, are birds mammals? I got to look that up. I forgot. But either way, trying to catch one of those things is very difficult. And that's what it's like playing against Steph Curry. You're just constantly running after him, trying to get the chicken, but you can't catch him, right? So for 4 quarters or 3 quarters, you're running around chasing this chicken. You're chasing this chicken. But in between that, you got Jimmy Butler, who's putting the paws on people. Jimmy came out, had a really good game. He had, I believe, 21 at halftime. So he was really keeping them in the game, and he does a slightly different thing than what Steph does, right? So what Jimmy does is he draws contact, he gets to the free throw line, he makes some good plays too. He knows how to pass, he knows how to play basketball. It may not always come up in the stat sheet, but he knows what he's doing. Last night he had 6 assists, right? So he knows what he's doing when it comes to these passes. So he keeps the team in it. He ends up with 38 for the game, 12 for 18 from the free throw line, 2 for 4 from 3, which is good for him. Over 50% from the field. He also chipped in 7 rebounds and 3 steals. So, he played more than solid. He played a great game. But then what you notice is that come fourth quarter, Steph has a little bit more energy. And what I've been noticing is Steph is usually not killing it through the first 3 quarters. He's doing okay. He's doing good. But he has a little bit more energy to close it out in the end. And he also got to the free throw line 13 times last night. So Jimmy finished with 38, 6 and 7. Steph finished with 37, 4 and 8, 4 assists and 8 boards. But the thing is, Steph made some huge shots down the stretch. And Steph's like the lottery, right? He's become more clutch to me in his later years because I just don't think he has the same amount of energy. So he's got to make sure that come the end of the game, these shots count. Where he struggles is if he gets into this tendency of where he starts turning the ball over, that's where he's got to be careful. He can't be turning the ball over like crazy in the final minutes of the game because that's why they lost the game that got them here in the first place. The Clipper game, he played well, but he had 8 turnovers, and a lot of them were at the end of the game where you really can't afford to have that happen. But in this game, he saved up his energy, and then come fourth quarter, made some huge shots down the stretch. And they were threes. They're always threes, and that's what bothers me a little bit about Steph. It's too much reliance on a 3-point shot. I know that's his thing, but come into the game when you just need 2 points, you want to be able to get to the free throw line or get to a nice mid-range game. And far too often for me, Steph settles for the 3 or some shot that just doesn't look that great. And so historically, I have never believed him to be that clutch. But the last few years, he's actually gotten better in the clutch. There was a while where he was like 0 for 10, in clutch, like closing buckets or something like that, or game-winning buckets. And I don't know what his record is with that now, but you don't have to make a game winner if you make some big shots in the last 2 minutes, because you could still put your team ahead that way. And that's what I've been seeing him do. He did it in the Olympics. He should have been MVP. And, I like this floor game from Steph. But Steph is like the jackpot lottery. You're either going to get the Steph that's making everything, and what the heck do you do? Or you're going to get the Steph that's turning the ball over, making dumb plays here and there, and not closing it out. So if the Warriors could consistently get the Steph that is going to play solid for the entire game and close it out at the end, with Jimmy Butler handling most of the in-between, like I said, like a Shaq-Kobe type thing where Shaq held it down for 3. Kobe chipped in during that time, but Kobe closed it in the 4th. If they can do something like that, maybe they could be tough. I feel like they're very small. I don't like small ball, and that's what makes me annoyed with Steve Kerr, because I know he has a hand in these rosters, and he just doesn't care about big people. But they got this guy named Post now, and he's playing with Looney, and they're doing, some in-between time. And Post is playing pretty good, I'm not going to lie. He's a really good three-point shooter. He plays on defense. So maybe we'll see what happens with that. But I still feel like they don't... Now that Jimmy's there, they get more easy paint buckets because Jimmy is a mid-range god, right? So it's working that way. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to discount the Grizz. They play well. Bane is one of my favorite players in the league. That's not a superstar, I would say. That's not like a star. But I like Desmond Bane. He's a really solid guy as far as a player. He's tough. He doesn't take crap from people. He had a good game. He had 30 points. Also chipped in 4 dimes and 6 boards. So he played well. Ja Morant got hurt, had to leave, came back. Shout out to Ja. I hope he's feeling better. I give him credit for toughing it out. Still had 22 points. And Zach Edey, who's becoming one of my people. I really like Zach Edey. I want big men to be something in the league again. And Zach just goes out there and plays big. 14 points, 17 boards. Had some easy gimmies that I feel like he could have made that he didn't. But he'll just get better from here. It's his rookie season. And actually, people talk about who else is a rookie. Why not Zach Edey? I mean, I don't think he's been playing all year like this, but especially since they got rid of the last coach, Zach Edey's been getting minutes, and I like what I see from him. So, I mean, honestly, the Mavericks, are they going to make it? I don't know. Because somebody's not going to make it here. But I kind of feel like the Grizzlies would be interesting. But I think they would get beat by the Thunder even if they did make it. So we'll see. Jared Jackson chipped in 18, 4 assists, 6 boards. Shot well from the field. Well, not great. He was 6 for 15. But 4 for 9 from 3, so he shot well from 3. So, like I said, it was a good game. Aldama chipped in 14 off the bench. But it was a good game. And I like what I saw from both teams. They fought hard. The Grizz just have a tough matchup with the Warriors. They struggle to beat them. It is what it is sometimes with teams like that. Ja Morant seems hobbled. We'll see what happens with that. Ja, to me, just to say this, I've not been a huge Ja fan. I was when he first ascended, but then he got into the situation with the pew pew pow pow, and he hasn't really been the same since. He's been hurt. So to me, his game has to continue to grow. I mean, athletically, he's a freak of nature. That's obvious without saying. He's of the Westbrook and Derrick Rose caliber as far as freaky athletes, especially at the point guard position. Let me not also leave out my boy, Baron Davis, and also you can add Steve Francis to that. Just freaky athletic point guards. But he's got to grow his game, man. I feel like he's got to have a more consistent pull-up. And not even just the 3, just a more consistent mid-range pull-up. Be comfortable with that jumper. You know what I mean? If he can get to something similar to what SGA can get to as far as the midi and what Westbrook used to have. Westbrook used to be an animal on the drive at you as hard as possible, pull-up, free throw, mid-range. I don't know what happened to that shot. But if he could get that in his game, I mean, you're talking about potential MVP. So Ja's got some room to grow, but that's neither here nor there for this season. He's not going to get that much better this season. So hopefully in the offseason, that's something he can work on. But this is the matchup. The Warriors will now play the Rockets. I am very interested in this matchup. The Rockets are an unbelievable defensive team, but they cannot score. I watched them play, and who's going to make a shot, man? I like the Rockets, though. They got Amen Thompson. Prayers up to that guy, per usual. Really like him. Freak athlete. I like Dylan Brooks. I don't care what you haters say about Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is one of my guys. I like anybody that's tough. Anybody that doesn't give a dang about superstars or anything like that. He don't care. He's coming to do his job, which is play tough and make some threes here and there and just play a solid game. So Dylan Brooks, if I was at the park, he'd be one of my first pickups every time. You know, every time. You need that type of energy on your team, right? Fred VanVleet hasn't been the same. I mean, he got a lot of money. He got the bag, but Fred hasn't really been consistent with the jumper. He has not been shooting that great. Jalen Green is a toss-up. I mean, he has superstar potential, but is he that? No. Is he even an all-star? I don't know. Did he make the all-star team this year? I don't remember. But he's up and down, man. Some days he has 47, some days he has like 7. And you're like, huh? Like, he's got to have a more consistent game. He's got to have a more consistent, you know, sometimes he just doesn't take great shots. He doesn't have go-to shots. He needs to watch somebody like a Jimmy Butler, right? Who, ironically, he's going to be playing against in this next series. So we'll see. Şengün is nice. That's Baby Joker. So we'll see what happens with that, with this matchup. I think they have the pieces to guard the Warriors, but do they have the scoring? And that's all it's going to be for the Rockets. If the Rockets can put up 110 points a game or so, if they're getting 120, you're probably going to lose. I mean, they're probably going to beat you. But if they can get around that number, then maybe they could be tough. But they are the second seed for a reason. They're a great defensive team, but we'll see. I got to say I'm going with the Warriors in this matchup, but it really depends. It really depends. So, and playoff Jimmy mixed with jackpot Steph, we'll see what happens. So please like, share, and subscribe to this video and all of my videos. Thank you very much for listening. We're trying to build the channel up. Don't click off too fast because I have some other suggested videos after this one. I appreciate your time. I'm very humble. Much love. I'm still refreshed when you're gone. I can tell that somehow